and we're available.
Okay, we're live streaming.
We're live streaming. Facebook, hi, it's me, Linda Marcus Smith. You know the drill, but this is when we do our military comedy. And I would like to first of all thank AHA Broadway, the sign behind my co-host Liz Friesius, ahabroadway.org. Whenever you want to take your comedy or your acting to the next level. Right now, they have classes taught by the East Coast headliner, Chris P. Murphy, and he's the bomb. Veterans, every day, all year long, get classes for $10 a class. I'm a graduate of AHA Broadway. I survived. It was fun. It's great input. And so you guys go to ahabroadway.org and help give back to them, because they're making this possible to pay comedians for doing comedy. And we share it with military companies and organizations, and you can share it too with them. Thank you so much and have a great holiday. Now, I'd like to give the entire show over to my co-host, Liz Friesius, to run the show. Liz Friesius. Yay.
And keep it going for your overall host, Linda Marcus Smith.
Yay!
We've got a short but distinguished lineup going here tonight. So please put your hands together. Welcome to the stage, Dave.
Yay! Thank you, Liz. So a little bit about me. I named my phone Elvis because it dies every time I'm on the toilet. The other day, my cousin came by and I said, "Hey, Jared, how's it going? Long time no see." He said, "I'm just in the neighborhood. Thought I'd drop by. What's going on?" I said, "Well, funny you should ask. I'm on my way to a movie. Would you like to come along?" He said, "I'd love to go to a movie. Let me get my car." And I said, "There's no need. It's just a short walk." He said, "It's what? It's a what?" I said, "Short walk." He said, "What is a short walk?" What? I'm familiar with the mountain twalk and the prairie twalk. I think I saw a prairie twalk one time outside Omaha. Beautiful plumage. What are you talking about? The short walk. Okay, as long as we're on the same page. Anyway, head out the door and go up Dewey Street. Head up what? Dewey Street. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I don't know how to street. What are you talking about? You said we go out the door and head up Dewey Street. That's right. Well, I don't know how to street. I said, no, not how to street, Dewey Street. I don't know. Why not? I just told you. He said, "Look, we don't have to go to a movie. We could stay here and watch TV. You got Netflix?" I said, "Calm down. Calm down." Anyway, here you get to the corner and go left. He says, "Right." I said, no, if you go right, you'll be left behind. What? If you go right, you'll be left. So I go left, right. So I go right. No, if you go right, you'll be wrong. So I go left, right. He said, "Listen to me. I'm not sure I want to do anything with you. Maybe play cards. I know hearts." I said, calm down, because we're almost to the theater. He said, "Well, that's good news. What's the name of the theater?" It's called the We Don't Walk Theater. The what theater? We don't walk. How are we going to get there? We walk. I thought you said we don't walk. That's right. He said, "How about this? How about if I just punch you in the face?" Calm down. Just take a deep breath. Tell you what, you tell me how to get there. You'll see how it is. This is not going to work. Yeah, it is. Just try. You'll see. Okay. We start out talking about a bird, the short walk. Why? I'm not sure. Anyway, he said we head out the door and go up Dewey Street. I don't know. I don't know how to street. We get to the corner. We go right to be left, the left to be right, or right to be wrong. At this point, I've given up hope. And then we continue to walk till we don't walk. I said, "Perfect." He said, "I don't even know what I'm talking about." You know this. If we ever get there, I'm going to strangle you. What? I'm going to strangle you. I said, "That's the name of the movie."
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, yay. Here's a I'm retired. Since I retired, I've lost about 50 pounds, although now it's closer to 40 because I put on 10. And had a couple of interesting side effects. Number one, I got a thank you note from my knees. It said, "Thank you sincerely, the Patellas," which surprised me because I did not know they were Italian. I guess I should have known from all the genuflecting. And also, where I used to have a double chin, I now have this fold of flesh. On a turkey, it's called a wattle, W-E-T-T-L-E. And in the turkey community, it's a status symbol. In the human community, not so much. But it does have one advantage. Now when I shake my head no, my wattle shakes its head twice. No, no. It's like I'm saying no and my wattle is saying, and I mean it, no. Anyway, here's something. My cousin has lost his faith. He's what the church calls an apostate, someone who's fallen away. Recently, he had to go in for a digital exam, and by digital, I mean this digit right over here. And when he got there, the doctor, instead of asking him to bend over, asked him to lie down, and he said, "Why?" And the doctor said, "Well, I've never performed a prostate exam on an apostate who was prostrate." My cousin said, "What?" And the doctor said, "I've never performed a prostate exam on an apostate who was prostrate." I said, my cousin said, "Oh, you mean the old prostrate apostate prostate exam? Why didn't you say so?" Anyway, recently I was in Maine. If you've never been there, it's beautiful. While I was there, they were having an exhibition of the state horse, which is a Morgan. I went over there, I was talking to the guide, and I said, "Is there a leader of this group of horses, leader of the pack?" And he said, "Absolutely, it's that big stallion over there." I said, "So that's the main horse of all the Maine's horses?" He said, "Cute."
Oh.
That's cute. I said, "What's that hair? What do you call that hair on the back of his neck? It's beautiful." He said, "That's called a mane." I said, "So that's the mane on the main horse for the state of Maine." He said, "Clever. Clever." I said, "I noticed he has knots tied in his hair, and some of the horses have their hair braided. Is it like that all the time?" He said, "Well, most of the time, but 1 month out of the year, we take up the knots and the braids and just let their hair relax." I said, "Really, what month is that?" And he said, "Well, typically the month of May." I said, "Okay, let me understand this. If I tied knots in horses' hair, you would tell me that in the month of May, I would not be permitted to tie knots in the hair of that stallion." He said, "That's right." I said, "But the rest of the month, I would be permitted to tie knots in the mane of the main horse for the state of Maine." He said, "You got it." So in May, I may not the main. But if it's not May, I may not the main. And he said, "What?" And I said, "Well, in May, I may not the main, but if it's not May, I may not the main. He said something I was not expecting. He said, "Security, get this guy out of here. He's done. Troublemaker." Anyway, so a little bit more about me. When I was a teenager, I was in a gang. We called ourselves the Electrical Workers Union Local 412. Our gang color was bright orange, which we wore on reflective vests. We wore hard hats backwards because we were rebels. Our gang symbol was the same symbol utility companies use to indicate where to install a street light. Now, let me tell you, our neighborhood, very well lit. Liz, you'll appreciate this. It's always a good idea to go above and beyond, unless you're trying to land an airplane. I recently got an Apple Watch. The first day I had it, I wore it to bed. At 7 o'clock the next morning, it buzzed and said, "Get up." I said, "What? No." Apparently, it monitors my breathing and my heart rate, so I nicknamed it Santa Claus. Because it knows when I'm sleeping, it knows when I'm awake, but if it ever figures out if I've been bad or good, I'm going to throw it in the lake. Son, you better not cry. Every morning, 2 cute little ducks come visit me on my patio, and I've started giving them bread. My friend Don said, "Don't do that. If they eat too much bread, they'll get sick and die." I said, "I know. I hate ducks." Although we live on a narrow lot in Midtown Kansas City, I recently got a small John Deere tractor, which I love. I have all the attachments: backhoe, lawnmower, snowplow. Last fall, I bagged a 6-point buck, and the other day I mounted its antlers on the front of my little tractor. And I told my wife, Wanda, it wasn't a mule deer or a white-tailed deer. It was a John Deere deer. Wanda was not amused. It said, "Sings how I love it so much, I should call it my dear John Deere." I told her she was mistaken. It should be called my dear John Deere deer. Wanda was not amused and insisted that I sell it. She suggested that since I loved it so much, I should first write it a Dear John letter. I told her she was mistaken and it should be called a John Deere Dear John letter. Wanda was not amused and said I should call it my Dear John Deere Dear John letter. I told her she was mistaken and it should be called my Dear John Deere Dear Dear John letter. Wanda was not amused and said, "Sell it! Just sell it!" So if you know anybody would like to have a small John Deere tractor, just let me know. Anyway, a little bit more about me. I recently discovered if you laid an adult male blue whale on a football field with its nose on one goal line, you'd have to reschedule that game. At nursing homes, the code word for toilet is mustard, specifically gray poupon. That's one of my favorites right there. I like Facebook. Recently, a lady posted she was looking for a plumber to replace her water heater. I posted it would be better to replace the water heater with another water heater. Another lady posted she'd found some cinnamon buns to die for. I posted if she ate enough of them, they'd be to die from. A friend posted she bought a weighted blanket. I posted that at my age, every blanket is a weighted blanket. Oh. See what I did there? I recovered. Another friend posted, "What makes you smile?" I posted, "Facial muscles." Apartments aren't apart, they're together. Shouldn't they be called togetherments? Missouri is considering a law to make it legal to break a car window to rescue a pet, and I'm in favor of it. Because the last time I broke a car window to rescue a purse, I got arrested. This morning, I found a spider in my sock drawer, which was very upsetting because it belongs in the spider drawer. Found a spider in my kitchen, but instead of killing it, I started telling it about my fantasy football team, and it left quietly on its own. Speaking of fantasy football, how could it be fantasy football if there are no unicorns? My cousin is an ornithologist. His specialty is the hoot owl, but he's discovered some other rare owls. He's discovered the toot owl. Instead of going hoo, it goes. He's also discovered the cute owl. Instead of going hoo, hoo, it goes aw, aw. I have another cousin who's a agnostic. An agnostic is someone who wakes up every morning wondering whether or not there's a God. I am more of an agnostic. I wake up every morning wondering whether or not to have omelets. Taking It to the Streets by the Doobie Brothers is my favorite song about trash day. Apparently, it's inappropriate to RSVP to a wedding invitation by saying, I can't make it, sorry, maybe next time. Apparently, it's inappropriate to take a couch sitting by the curb if it's in front of a furniture store. Yeah, I know that now. The other day, my son said he was proud of me because he'd heard I'd started to listen to rap music. And I said, no, you misunderstood. What I said was the last time I fell, I heard my hip hop. I did not name my son David, but I wish I'd named him Harley, because then he could refer to himself as Harley, David's son. If you ask for change at a dollar store, they just give you a different dollar. My cousin's band has trouble getting gigs, and I blame the name they've chosen for the band, which is Closed for Repairs. It's particularly difficult when they perform with their favorite band, which is Plumbing Problems. Because then on the marquee it reads, tonight only, closed for repairs with plumbing problems. My cousin is starting a small piano store. Very exciting. Next week is the baby grand opening. What exactly is wild bird seed? Is that wild seed for tame birds? If it is, it should be called wild tame bird seed. Or is it tame seed for wild birds? If it is, it should be called tame wild bird seed. I know it's not tame seed for tame birds because that's called parakeet food. You know who you never see together in public? Papa John and his son, Jimmy. What exactly is a cold-blooded killer? Someone who murders reptiles? See, because they're cold-blooded, so that would... Here's something that keeps me awake at night. Exactly how dead is a doornail? Let me see if I can come up with one more to keep you amused here. I'm not sure I can. So on that note, ladies and germs, thank you so much for inviting me to perform. This has been a hoot.
Yay!
Going for Dave. Okay, Dave, here's the catch. Two can play at this game.
Uh-oh, look out.
Oh, yeah, because Linda, I actually just started a podcast recently. And so tonight I'm actually doing a COVID-19 podcast.
Wow.
You're not gonna believe the lineup here. World Health Organization's on first. The former governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, is on second. And concerned citizen Ida Knowles is on third. So my husband comes in and he's talking with me. He says, I heard you had a podcast tonight. Tell me the lineup. I said, well, who's on first? Como's on second. And Ida Knowles on third. Are you the producer? Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Who you gonna interview? You gonna be the interviewer too? Yeah. And you don't know the guest's name? Well, I should. Well, then who's on first? Yes. I mean the guest's name. Who? The guest going first. Who? The first interviewee. Who? The first representative. Who is on first? I'm asking you who's on first. Well, that's the organization's name. That's whose name? Yes. Well, go ahead and tell me. That's it. That's who? Yes. Look, you got a first guess? Certainly. Who's interviewing first? That's right. Look, all I want to know is when you sign in the interviewee, how do they sign in? Who? The interviewee. Who? How do they sign in? That's how they sign in. Who? Yes. Do you have a second guess? Of course. What's the second guest's name? Como? This is not the time to practice your Spanish. I'm asking you who's on second. Who's on first? One interviewee at a time. Well, don't change the lineup around. I'm not changing nobody around. Well, take it easy. Take it easy. I'm only asking you, who's the first interviewee? That's right. Okay. Como? No, Como's on second. I'm not asking you who's on second. Who's on first? I don't know. Now she's on third. We're not talking about her right now. Now, how did I get to the third interviewee? You mentioned her name. If I mentioned the third interviewee's name, who did I say was being interviewed third? No, who's interviewing first? I don't know. She's up third. There I go. Back to third again. Would you like to stay with the third interviewee and don't go off topic? All right. What is it that you want to know? Who's interviewing third? Why do you insist on putting who in the third interview slot? Como? No, Como's on second. I don't want to know who's on second. Who's on first? I don't know. Third slot. Look,
Nice.
you've got a syndicated show for this podcast? Sure. The show's name, Today. You're going to tell me today. I'm telling you now. Then go ahead. Today. What time? What time what? What time today are you going to tell me who's on the show? Now listen, who is not the syndicated show? Break your arm if you say who's on first.
Classic.
I want to know the show's name. Today. Don't bother telling me. I don't care. What's that? I said I don't care. Oh, great idea. That's the local hospital.
Yay.
Well, as you guys know, I'm Liz Fresius. I'm married
Woo!
to a man. He's 6'5". His name is Richard, which proves the rumors. I do have a big dick.
Nice.
I spent 30 years of my life in the military. He's also a veteran. Between the two of us, we've been married 28 years and we've been deployed collectively 16 times.
Wow.
So let me tell you, I've learned something. Anybody who says all's fair in love and war has been in neither one of them. In our case, absence truly did make the heart grow fonder, as opposed to the 60% divorce rate where people's abstinence made the heart go wander.
Nice.
Yeah, straight up the express lane from courting to divorce courting. Civilians talk about their civil matches like hell. I got out recently and I'm having trouble communicating. I have a lot of trouble communicating. I go into work one day and I had to tell my team, it's like, guys, we need to talk BBC tomorrow. Didn't realize I had to tell them that's a news network. Yeah, and by the way, anybody that is not safe for the work environment, do not look that up at work if you don't get that joke. Please don't look it up in the work environment. I had one guy who comes, he's all, dude, yeah, I was at an all-night poker game down at the dispensary. I played my cards right and I won the pot. That is a stupid joke. And when I told him that, I got written up by HR.
Nice.
See, the biggest problem is I spent 30 years on active duty. These guys spent 30 hours on Call of Duty.
Nice.
I had a girl who showed up. She's all, oh, yeah, I'm late. I got mugged. I said, my God, are you okay? She says, well, yeah, I'm fine. There was no crime. I just stopped at Starbucks. I said, late. She says, it's pronounced latte, but this is cappuccino. I fired her faster than Benihana's grill. Well, the worst thing about it is, I show up and one of the guys looks at me and says, now, Liz, what's the issue here? I mean, you're having trouble with your team. I said, I have issues with tardiness. He says, they have counselors for that. So yeah, needless to say, I got fired faster than Mexican ice cream. I walk over to one of the local churches, and of course, here's a little old church lady there. Oh, dearie, give it to God, just give it all to God. I said, God's name isn't Goodwill. He doesn't want my secondhand crap. I will admit, let's face it, with age does come wisdom and a whole lot of excuses for ignoring it.
Nice.
Everybody here familiar with Bob Ross, the artist? Yeah, there are no mistakes. There's just happy little accidents. Try telling that to a teenage girl. I do judge books by their cover because the more tattered and scuffed up, the more interesting the story. Here's the thing, cremation costs an arm and a leg. You shouldn't get leftovers. I mean, they're always sending you home with a little to-go box. I am about to meet my maker. Thanks, 23andMe.
Nice.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be my time, but we have a special guest for you tonight. 4-time author, Air Force veteran, and you better tell us how you got shot. Nope. Ladies and gentlemen, put your heads together and welcome to the stage, Darrell Hearns.
I don't want to tell you how I got shot. Is that okay? I don't.
I'm not going to tell you.
I'm not going to tell you.
Tune in next week to hear how Darrell got shot.
I'm not going to tell you at all, Liz. Okay, I'm not going to say what happened. All right. Okay, Liz is right. I am an Air Force veteran. I was in the military. Air Force for 8 years. That was 8 long years of my life. All right. They had me in every war zone. All right. Fighting for my country. Was in Iraq, Afghanistan. They even had me fighting the Taliban in the mountaintops. It was a bad hike, all right? It was one of those bad hikes. It wasn't even on purpose. I just went hiking and they just found me somehow, okay? Just found them. But let me tell you guys, I ended up getting shot. Singing karaoke. In North Carolina. In my hometown. I signed up for a reason, I wanted to get away.
That's right.
You don't know what song I was singing? This is Liz's favorite part. You don't know what song I was singing? All right. Pony by Genuine. Okay, I was singing that song. All right, singing it very well. Then I heard a pop in the back. All right, the back of the club, there was a whole pop, and I was a little, bang my head up a lot. Somehow the Air Force said this 6'5" guy will be able to work under a little F-15. All right, so I bang my head up a bunch. Underneath an F-15 is no taller than your desk. You're probably sitting at right now. Like, that's really what it's like. You understand? Like, Liz has been there, right? You're tall too. So yeah, same. When you have to crawl to take out wheel chocks from a aircraft, it's tiny. All right, but I banged my head up a bunch. So as I said, it was a pop in the back of the club, and I was like, man, they're popping bottles for me. They must think I'm genuine. So I got to the car, right? Saw some blood going down my leg. It's a crazy night. I mean, I was singing it very well. In the back of my head, I was really like, she wasn't grinding that hard, was she? Ma'am, you left your egg on my leg. But I was sad. I was a little special back then, all right? So I had to get like I said, a little special. So banging your head up doesn't help that much. But I had to get the bullet out of my leg. And what they say about concussions and head injuries, they make you very impulsive, meaning dumb. So I decided to get the bullet out of my own leg. All right. I thought I was gonna get interrogated by the cops when I got to the emergency room. Okay. So I get I got needle nose pliers in my car. I literally started digging in my leg and told you, whoop, 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 all over the place. I thought it was gonna be like Rambo. Like he just pulls it out his leg, wraps it up, and throws the bullet at his enemies. No. Getting the bullet out your own leg is like trying to hold on to a greased up pig with ADHD. Ducking child support. On a pig farm. All right. Really, that's how crazy it was. It's all over the place, going all everywhere. And I really, man, like digging, like I said, it's not easy because I was literally just getting out my leg. I was probably doing a lot of damage, man. So I pulled the bullet out and it looked like a penny. And I put that penny towards some singing lessons. That's probably the reason why I got shot. Just want to tell people the exact reason. That's probably why. Just saying. I mean, I don't know, man. But I found out, 2 years later, it was my ex-fiance that shot me.
Wow.
Yeah. She said I ruined our wedding song. Our first dance was going to be the pony. If you're horny, let's do it. It was bad. Like, I understand. There's a reason why she's my ex-fiance. She might have shot me in the leg, but she was aiming for my heart.
Oh.
And missed that too. So this is funny. I just thought about it. I really look back. I come from humble beginnings, man. I grew up in this place. It's called a country project. That's what I call it because it was in the country and it was hood. There you go. No, really. We had people selling weed and fish. All on the same block. Really. What country they are, man? They put the weed in the fish. not on the side like an hors d'oeuvre. They like roll it to a blunt, put the fish's mouth, have it looking like this. Okay, that's the bad part. I think because they were hitting the time. We're talking about the early '90s. Because it looked like a big mouth Billy Bass fish with a blunt hanging out his mouth. So I don't know. They probably invented that. Like go smoke it and start singing. You know, I think that was the point. Take me to the river. And if I know this audience was around in the '90s, but how I break it down to the younger audience that I see, you know, y'all still good looking. I mean, what's the max age in here? Like 30? Is that everybody here? That's good.
18
I love
with
it.
a few decades experience.
There you go. Gotcha. I love it. Love this audience. But how I describe it to the youngsters is it was a novelty gift for white people in the '90s. That's really what it was. I couldn't have one because I didn't have disposable income. All right. I wasn't even allowed to stay up past like 8 o'clock. Not because I was a kid, because we couldn't pay for electricity. All right. That's the whole reason. Every light went off after 8. So yeah, it was interesting, man. Just want to tell y'all that awesome story. What was another good one I always like, and it's really cool. I really enjoy it. You know, Liz will probably tell you guys, and I probably look a little better now. I lost a lot of weight recently. Yeah, I lost 90 pounds. 90 whole pounds, guys. I had to, though. I really had to. The lesson is, I have to say, it got bad because my knees were coming out with a mixtape called "Get This Fat Dude Off Me." It was bad, man. I was always popping. I think like it was featuring diabetes. That's how bad it was. Arthritis had a song because I'm gonna make you stiff. I'm like, dude, I'm 23. Bad. Oh man. But those were the days. I actually got gout at 23, okay?
Wow.
Like gout. 23 years old. Do you want to know how I got it? Eating Arby's. Every day after work, I went to Arby's. That's how stressful my job was, okay? Getting your head hit makes you impulsive. Impulsively want Arby's for no reason. Your brain is, I need more meat. I need it. But thank God for laughing at that. And there's a saying, right? It was from I believe Sun Tzu. I think it's in The Art of War. Every good comedian knows when to get off the stage.
Jeez.
That's why I'm still up here. All right, thank y'all very much. Check out the books. They're available on Amazon, all over the place, on the rail. Give it up for your host. All right.
And keep it going for Darrell. The reason why, as a commander, I have gray hair.
It's true. It's true.
And Darrell, let's face it. I mean, that's what the first sergeant would call self-critiquing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have for you tonight a very special treat. Put your hands together for our headliner, Linda Marcus Smith.
Hey everybody, before I start, we didn't get to clap for the amazing comedy of Liz Fresius. So let's do that right now. We missed that. She was awesome too. You guys are so great. This is so fun. So yeah, a little bit about me or a lot, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm old, so it'll be a lot. Even if it's not, it's a lot. Yeah, I'm a boomer, and I got to tell you, my goal is to be a boomer and woke. Yeah, and I've been winning at it. I had to find out what woke was, and I did it on the mean streets of Philadelphia. I asked this little high school kid, hey, how do I become woke? he said, know what we talk about. And I said, well, what do you talk about? He said, Snapchat and Instagram. Okay. So I said, can you tell me about Snapchat? And his grandmother came out of the bushes or something, shoved him out of the way, started yelling at me. I'm like, oh, snap, she wants to chat. I didn't know, I still don't know what Snapchat is. So I went and found a high schooler and I said, you got to help me. I want to be woke. What is Instagram? And he said, well, you're old enough to know that back when you were probably in college, if you went to a dorm or frat party and scored Coke in the first 5 minutes, that was probably your Instagram. I'm like, dude, thanks. And so now I think I'm a little bit woke and dope and a little AF. APH. It's got to be clean. APH. Yeah, that's what I am. And if you say APH twice, then your pH is totally balanced. So that's good. Yeah. I got to tell you, I was a real success at raising a daughter as a single mother. Yeah. I raised her to the age of 18, which only took the two of us 36 years. Yeah, it's a real success story. And when she got sick and tired of me, she kicked me to the curb. You know, she rejected me. She said things like, she'd slam her door and say, you don't understand. Where were you when I needed you? I hate you. And the best one of all, I never want to talk to you ever again. Parents, have you heard this? Yeah. And after 36 years of that, I decided, why not face comedy? It couldn't be any worse. There's some similarities too, because at the comedy club once, this man jumped up, looked at me and he goes, where were you when I needed your jokes? And he ran out and I haven't seen him since either. Winning at that. Oh my gosh. I'm from a crazy town that none of you have probably heard of in the news at all. Portland, Oregon. Yeah. My town used to be quiet and serene, and it's become progressive. Do I scream progressive? I wouldn't even spend 15 minutes finding out about car insurance. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna. I did do one thing progressive in my 70 years of life. I almost kissed a Portland barista because he told me I looked just like Marilyn. I mean, David, wouldn't you want to kiss him too?
Yeah.
I said, oh, she's so, and he goes, no, not that Marilyn, Marilyn Manson. You look just like Marilyn Manson. This is crazy. I got to get new makeup. Yeah. I have a twin brother in Portland, and we're 30 minutes apart. His name is Fred, and he's really good for my self-esteem. He tells me that I look just like him in drag. And I was like, listen, I'm not going to let you get the better of me. I used to be an unwoke boomer. I'm woke now. So I told him, yeah, you came out last. So I think you're my afterbirth. That's where you fall into the picture. I don't have any self-esteem. I'm just going to tell you. There's no sense trying to fake it. I've faked everything in my life. I'm not doing it no more. I don't have much self-esteem. Is that terrible to admit? I mean, the term self-esteem is stupid anyway, because for us boomers, we did not get our self-esteem from ourselves. Why are they calling it self-esteem? Huh, Darrell? We got it from men, you know? Men told us we had value. How did they do that? Honking, catcalling, wolf whistling. You get the drill. You know, it also told us they were horny once in a while, if you were lucky. But the thing is that I just didn't grow up with self-esteem. I only had a value to men, right? And so now I'm going down the street. It's so true. I go down the street and I got attention from men way back then. And now I'm like, why isn't anybody holding the door open for me? Why isn't anybody whistling, turning their heads, looking at my rear end? None of that, I thought maybe I lost all my beautiful looks I had. And then it dawned on me, thank God it was the Me Too movement.
Nice.
But I will do anything to try to have daily self-esteem, even if it's fake, even if I have to get it from men, I will do it. Because, I heard from Portland, and I heard in Vegas, you can do whatever you want here, whatever you want. So I couldn't wait to get here to Vegas to try and keep my self-esteem up. I got here just in time for COVID.
Oh, geez.
There were no drinkers, no gamblers, no hooker trading cards all over the cement like usual. Do you know how hard it was to pay rent without a slip and fall accident? Gotta tell you, this town's taking the life out of me. Yeah, but I will do anything for attention. Like I said, I dress up in prom gowns and hooker heels, and I go up and down the strip to see if a car will have the nerve to honk at me. because I worked my tail off trying to get a good body and good looks since 2005. I've transformed everything. Blonde hair, beautiful white teeth that come out at night. Oh, sorry, this is my clean set. You know how we do, we slip. and so yeah, and I got myself a tight tuchus. Yeah, a rear end that's tight. Yeah, because I went to the gym and I exercised like a wild banshee. How's that for clean? And I finally accomplished getting a tight rear end, which I call my Cardi B minus. Yeah, I did cardio, almost had a cardia, and now I got a Cardi B minus. It's good. Yeah. But yeah, I've been aging, and I'm not good at math, so I figure maybe other people aren't, and they won't know that I'm 70. So I tell people I'm 21 times 3 plus none of your business. Killing it with that one, I'll tell you. But when I go, they really busted me at the Forever 21 store where I get all these flirty clothes. The lady leaned in and she said, "Excuse me, don't you think you might be a little bit too mature for these cute clothes?" And so I'm a giver. I like to give back. So I leaned in ever so quietly. Not really. I leaned in and I said, in my best inside voice I could find when triggered, I said, "Excuse me, don't you think that maybe your little sister's tank top's a little small for you?" Yeah, so now they have me pay triple at Forever 21. That's all I'm saying. Thanks, you guys. I'm Linda Marcus Smith.
Woo! On, keep it going for Linda Marcus Smith.
Linda! Woo! Linda!
Oh my gosh. Thank you. That was fun. You guys are the bomb to do comedy in front of. Wow. I love all your sets. Liz, you were hot tonight. Darrell, I could hear your set over and over and still laugh.
Darrell is, I swear to God, how many times did you end up in front of the first sergeant with gray hair, giving him gray hair for safety reasons?
They never found out. They never found
Seriously,
out.
how many of us ended up either filling out or documenting safety hazard?
they never found out. They never told anybody what was going on.
Here's the thing, you had that safety hazard, but back in the 70s, Linda Marcus Smith gave a bunch of guys whiplashes. They're going, wow.
True.
Hey, Dave, you were Air Force?
Army.
Army. What was your MOS?
I was in military intelligence. Yeah, mostly because it's what's that called when something doesn't make sense?
An oxymoron?
Oxymoron, yeah.
Hey, in my case, that was emphasis on the moron. 14N by trade out of the Air Force, so I feel your pain.
Oh my gosh. So what was your exact MOS, Liz? I forget.
I was actually military intelligence as well. So
Oh my gosh.
14N, and Darrell was aircraft maintenance, and you were finance?
I was a
Oh,
cashier.
I was weapons. I'm not aircraft maintenance. You do not call me a crew chief, ma'am.
Weapons level.
Ever.
I stand
Okay.
corrected.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I will go.
Armament systems apprentice. Armament systems journeyman when I got out. Actually, craftsman when I got out. Okay.
I think I owe him the beverage of his choice for that, is what I'm hearing at the moment.
There you go. That's awesome.
What do you guys have coming up going, what people can come and watch? And your social media handles for people that might see this at veteran companies and organizations.
Oh, well, let me start. Let me start. My webpage. I'm trying to get up 1,000 visits for my webpage. So if you would go to David G. Scott Clean Comedy, I will post it right here, right now. David G. Scott Clean Comedy, and put a .com after that, and go to my webpage. That would get my hits up close to 1,000. Thank you.
So
Awesome.
just bring up the website, or do we have to do something to get counted?
No, just bring it up. Just go there. It'll count visitors. It counts visitors.
Wonderful, I did it.
Great, thank you, hon.
That's 2 of them you got.
Yeah, I got 2.
So when's your next gig?
Next week, I'm doing a nursing home, and Kansas City has a club called Knuckleheads that has a train track going right by it, and trains go by it in the middle of your set. And they do comedy and music, and just wild motorcycle gang reunions. It's a really crazy place. It's an outdoor venue, so it should be fun.
Wow.
Sweet.
Fun.
Knuckleheads in Kansas City, yeah.
What date is that?
Next Wednesday, which is probably the 8th, is that right?
Sounds about right.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think, well, you can come to the nursing home show, but you would stand
Nice.
it. So just, it's better just to show up at Knucklehead.
Definitely.
Liz, where are you performing and where can people follow you, my dear?
I'm at a website, Liz-Fresius. And yes, I know it's tough to spell. There are no E's and no Z's in Fresius. So take a look at the name on the screen, put a hyphen between it, liz-fresius.com. And then you can also find me at Liz Fresius on Facebook. And I'm still in Instagram jail. I have never gotten my Instagram to work. They basically decided that I had to show my right hand, my face, a code number, and all the rest. And I told them I was not interested in being part of their facial recognition feature program. So I don't have an Instagram. I am out of date.
Oh my gosh.
So I will be out doing corporate gigs coming up for a ladies real estate group. And I'm also a inspirational leader and speaker. So you can find me out there at Invested Leadership. So, and Darrell Hearns, sir, where's your next book signing? And where are you at next for comedy?
Let me tell y'all really cool. So if anybody's in Virginia, I'm going to be at Books a Million in Douglas Town Center. That's my next.
Yeah.
That's Sterling, Virginia. So just coming back visiting family. That was actually where I did my first book signing ever for my book, The Lazy Man Hustle. So it was really very supportive. It's almost like coming back, to where it all started. So we'll see how things have changed. comedy shows. I like never get booked, so like this is so hard. So come see me at open mics. Wednesday at El Charro Hipster, 7 p.m. I'm probably gonna go like 20th. So, come around like, 7:10, 7:15. I'll be up there. You can see my ha-has and ho-hos and he-has. That's the part. This is my like something I haven't accomplished yet. Like at comedy shows, I've never been able to make Liz laugh. So I'm working on it deep in my heart. Like every time I'm like, this is gonna hit. This is gonna get her this time. I'm like back of my head. Every time I write a joke, what is Liz gonna laugh at? I never get it in time. So we're working on it. Okay, I might just need a whiteboard like back here. Just really start scripting out like a scientist, like a whole equation. What is going to make Liz laugh at an open mic? I don't know. We're working on it, okay?
Honest broker, and I feel bad about this because, okay, you know that I lost my sense of humor. So the last place I saw it was on the back of a milk carton. I was at a show, Paul Ogata was headlining, and this is shortly after he won Honolulu. He's headlining, and halfway through his set, I'm laughing more than I have laughed in probably 30 years.
Nice.
And he's headlining, and halfway through his set, he stops his act, looks down at me, and says, "My God, it's like having my conscience sitting in the audience." I felt so horrible. I apologized to him after the show. So Darrell, you are in good company right up there with Paul Ogata.
All right. I'm writing the equation. The equation's getting written. You can follow my Facebook at Darrell Hearns. I have a podcast, weekly podcast that I do every Thursday at 2 p.m. It's called Crazy Positive Vibes. It's on Central City Radio. Then I have my Anchor podcast. That's the one called Power Talk. Just talk about empowering things. The other one I have like really great people by. There was somebody last week, really great guest. Like a lot of people loved her. I forgot her name. Jeez. She was really great guest.
Some crazy
Forgot.
person?
She was on there.
Some crazy person?
I think so. like kind of tall.
Kind of tall, red hair?
Yeah, I think.
Kind of tall, red hair, wears a vest. Haven't seen her.
Liz Christian. That's who. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Liz was on the show last week, so you can catch that episode on there.
Yeah.
It's really good. So, and yeah, it's always a pleasure talking to other veterans, man. So thank you for having me on here, man. Much
Now,
love.
Linda, where are we going to find you next? Where are you at?
Me? Okay, so this particular week, I'm going to be doing interviews on Facebook. I'd love to interview Darrell. I don't know if we've talked and set anything up yet.
Yeah, you gave me like the day before Thanksgiving.
Coming up in Thanksgiving? I
Yeah,
can
you gave
try
me
to
like-
get you in sooner. Let me try to get you in sooner tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, let me try to do that. So yeah, that's a long ways off. But I'm trying not to do too many in a day or a week because then I'll wind up getting sick again. So then next Thursday, I'm doing with Dave and Chris Crawford from the Veterans of Comedy. We're going to entertain some firemen in the state of Texas on Zoom. And so like that's a private event. And on the 20th, Jeffrey Peterson, Liz, he's going to have me on a private event, and he puts on the bomb shows with like he's been around and he knows all the big talent. And so these are secret. You don't even know who you're on with until you get there. He doesn't let people know anything ahead of time. So that's kind of fun. And you can find me on Linda Marcus Smith, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and my YouTube for my interviews, 715 comedy interviews, and one interview of a music person, Bobby Rydell. But he started in comedy, believe it or not, with Red Skelton. So
Wow.
he qualified. I couldn't reject him. And so, yeah, so that's on my YouTube. It's comedian Linda Marcus Smith, and click subscribe. I've done 715 interviews and I have less than 300 subscribers. That's not, if I was in baseball, I wouldn't get signed another year.
Well,
Maybe I would. That's almost half batting average. Baseball's a bad example. That's it. That's all I have. Anybody want to say some wrap up stuff, Liz? Or
Well, we've got to thank our hosts here tonight, our sponsors here, the
Yeah.
AHA Broadway. Give it up for them.
yeah, they make it possible to pay money. First 3 people get to get money, and Liz gets a little extra because she hosted extra tonight. So the rest of you get $10. So Darrell, I need your Cash App or Venmo. I try to avoid PayPal.
Darrell, how do you spell your last name?
HEARN.
H-E-N-S. Yeah.
Say
Yeah.
it-
Right, just like that. Let's just put it out there. Or she sent it directly to me. So I don't know
I'll get that
why.
corrected.
I got
I will
directly.
get that corrected.
In
Yes, I
case
know how
you
to spell
forget.
my last name. Thank you.
Hearns, HEARNS.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I actually bragged last time because that's like the biggest payout I ever got for doing comedy. So thank you, Miss Linda.
Are
You're
you
the best.
kidding me? Oh,
Yeah.
you're so good. Why in the heck aren't people booking you? Are you joking
know.
about that?
I don't know, man. So we'll figure it out.
That's got to change. That's got to
Thanks,
change.
man.
I'll
Thanks,
get you
man.
on. I'll get you on sometime this week to promote you. So I'll
Thank
hit
you.
you up and I'll get your Venmo or Cash App to pay you.
All right.
All right.
I'll
And
be waiting.
yeah, yeah, you won't wait long. He's like, yeah, okay, crazy lady, sure.
Awesome.
Liz, do you want to do any other wrap up? Of
Like I
any
said, just a huge shout out to our sponsors, AHA Broadway. Yes, we are looking for additional sponsors here so we can continue to support our veterans and our comics who are coming up through the ranks. Linda, back over to you for closing remarks.
All right. Well, like Liz Frisius, Frisius on Facebook and YouTube, and Liz-Frisius.com. David Scott, Clean Comedy. Did I get that right?
David G. Scott, Clean Comedy.
.com. David G. Scott, cleancomedy.com.
That's it.
And Darrell Hearns on I am
Darrell H.
Darrell H. I am Darrell H. Who
Yeah.
I have to know because I got to hit him up in a minute.
Woo!
You guys were awesome. You made for such a great show. And anybody here and anybody watching, please share this with anybody who's at home ill, that needs to laugh, especially military and veterans. That's the whole impetus behind this, is to offer these to military and veterans to laugh, where we military and veterans mostly are doing comedy. So military and veterans can see stuff at home or at work, wherever they work, or in a lobby at a company when they're waiting. So let's share these if we could, please. And that would be awesome. It'll get you more attention and more Facebook, more social media followers. Okay, well, I should probably get off here before I make this a mess like it started with me and my internet. Okay, thanks you guys for watching. You're all dope as PH.
Thanks so much.
Bye. Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.